Hello YouTube, it's Saturday, November 9th. I decided it is time to start doing videos of what we've been working on again. We're going to start it into the Power Stroke again. Probably, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on it today, but I am going to start working on it today. But I just want to show you what I've been up to, and I haven't touched this truck bed since July. I think the last video I did on it was when we welded these inner bed panel braces on. We flipped the bed, and I did start doing a little body work on the front panel on the inside, and I got into other things. As you saw, if you've seen my other videos, you've seen I did quite a bit to the Torino, and I'm kind of glad I got it going. I mean, I feel like I could drive that thing across the desert now. All cooling issues are fixed. Got a really good hot battery that can support all the accessories I've got on this thing, the fuel pump and the cooling fans, and we have a good alternator on it now. I'm not sure, I don't think I mentioned, well, I mentioned I was going to put an alternator on it, but I don't think I did a video on it. I put a PowerMaster 140 amp alternator on it. I'd have to go back and look at all my videos to see if I even did any video on it. I don't think I did. I may have mentioned it before I went to the Iroquois Park ride run. But yeah, this car is not completely finished, but it's good enough to enjoy for a while. There's a lot of things I want to do to it. A lot of things I would like to repaint it someday. I know it looks pretty decent on video, but if you look at it up close, I don't know if you can see that on film or not. It's got a long scratch all the way down it. It's got some door chips, believe it or not. Yes, there are people who are anal enough to actually let their door hit this old car. Not just this one, any nice old car. There's some people who just don't understand, don't care, or both. But enough of that. Like I said, the car is in good enough shape to enjoy for a while without having to do a lot of work on it. So we're going to leave it like it is. I fired up the 64 Fairlane the other day. I have a fuel leak. That's something else I've been into. I need to fix that. Straightened up the shed. I don't know if you've seen how bad off this shed was, but it got to where even when I drug this four-wheeler out of here, I could not get in there. But the car kicked right off. But I do have a fuel leak. I need to order another fuel bowl. I think if you remember the last video I did on it, I had a fuel leak. And the bow I put on there was not off of a Dominator, even though they look exactly alike. Something's different about it, because when I swap the float assembly in it, you can't adjust the float right. It pours fuel out of the sight plug hose. For those of you who have worked on Holleys, you know what I'm talking about. Actually, I can show you on this one right here what my black car is doing. It's flowing fuel. When you take out this sight plug, you can turn this nut and screw and adjust your float level. And when I did what I said I did, using the Dominator needle and seat and the fuel bow on a regular Holley bow, which I thought was the same, evidently is not, I could not adjust my float level. So, to make a long story short, I ordered another fuel bow for it. Brand new, 45 bucks. No hunting around, no BS. Hopefully it will be the right one. But yeah, we did a lot of stuff, even though I've been wanting to work on the truck and need to work on the truck and get it done so I can move on to other things. A lot of stuff that's made my life a little easier, like getting in and out of here now. That toolbox was mounted on that stand. I moved it over there because, as you can see, it's impossible for me to get around the car on that side. And I'm going to eventually get rid of that stand. And after the truck is together and all these parts are out of the way, that stand will probably go in the very back and the toolbox in the back. Or I haven't decided, either that or I may put the box, I may mount it to the top of the table back there. Not really sure yet, but that's something else I've been into. We had to work on the Sycamore for the tractor. It's off the tractor now, and the tractor is in the shed. That's something else I had done, was straighten up the shed. It's not going to look really neat, but compared to what it was, at least I can get my tractor in. Lawnmower's in there. And yeah, I got to where when I pull the tractor out, which it easily starts up, I can get to my air compressor and all that now. It got so messy in here I couldn't do that. And we had to work on a sickle mower. The spindle bearing was coming loose again. I was starting to break pitman arms again. That's for those of you who was following my sickle mower videos when I first started this channel. Let me pause the camera until I get up to the mower and show you what I was talking about. Okay, now we walk to the back of my little property. The spindle shaft, which holds the bearing in here. If you remember my video on fixing the Ford sickle mower part 1 and part 2, how I fixed it. Well, that held up great for 2 years. If you remember right, that the hole that the bearing spindle presses into was wallowed out and the spindle was loose, and it was just causing it to break pitman arms every time I used it. And if you remember, I plugged it with a pipe plug and then re-drilled the hole and reamed it and made a bearing spacer. Here comes Angel, wide open, and made a bearing spacer where I could tighten that down. And that way I could draw the bearing spindle, which had a head on it, up tight against the back of the pulley, and that kept it good and steady. But it eventually started coming loose again because the head of the bearing spindle was just a little bit bigger than the actual spindle shaft side, which is what the bearing presses over to or slides over. So that started wallowing out again, and I did a temporary fix. I welded a nut, I made a nut and drilled it out and pressed it onto the spindle. I should have done a video, it'd be easier to explain, but I pressed it onto the spindle and then turned it down in my mill, and so it's got a bigger head on it. Then I machined the back of it out to 1-inch diameter instead of the I think it was 7/8, something like that, and got it to where it was a lot tighter. Anyway, it fits in there a lot tighter now, and it held up. I mowed that field one more time, and I mowed these bigger fields, which I don't really belong to me, but I keep them mowed because it looks so much better. And that guy who owns it won't have it mowed. He just comes out once every 5 years and pays these people to just strip it down to the dirt, and makes a dusty mess and it looks like crap. So I mow it for free, as stupid as that sounds. But I do kind of enjoy getting on the tractor and mowing it because, well, this property used to be my grandmother's, and this field, and there's a field down there, and that field between my house and my mother's house, we used to cut, rake, and bale hay on these properties back when it all belonged to my dad and my grandmother. So yeah, it brings back some good memories using the same old tractor, same old mower that my dad used when I was a kid. So that's why I don't really mind mowing it for free. I would appreciate some fuel money, but the guy who owns it's a jerk. The story is he bought that property promising to build a house on it, so there would be no worries of any more developments moving in like this one back here. And he lied. He tried to sell it to developers, and found out that no developers can't really do anything with it because we have them landlocked, and the easement through our properties is not wide enough for any major construction. So he started becoming a jerk, and now he's just letting the property go to crap. What else have I been up to that I wanted to show you? Just to show you that even though I haven't been working on the truck, I haven't been a total bum, being lazy and doing nothing. Oh yeah, if you remember how I had the part of the garage walled off in plastic. It still is, but I made one little addition to it, and this is an idea I've had for later on. I'm going to make it better. But as you know, if you got half your garage walled off with plastic, it's a pain in the butt to get from one side to the other. So I mounted a door. I can't shut it right now because there's an extension cord in the way. But it's just a quick little rig, but it works. $10 door from Habitat Renewal. Habitat Renewal also had the brand new hinges for $1, all three of those. So it's a cheap setup, and the rest, let's see, this board right here, that is a 8 by 12 by 1. I've been finding them at Peddler's Mall for about $8 a piece. I guess that's not a bad price for such a wide board. It's not a cheap price, but it's not too terrible either. It was just perfect size for what I wanted. And I also nailed another board to these shelves right here so that I can seal off my plastic easier. But after the truck's done, this plastic's going to be good enough until I'm done with the truck. But after the truck's done, I come up with an idea of coming up with a some kind of setup where I can have a wall here, but I don't want it to be permanent. And I was thinking about maybe some kind of thin paneling, something that can be removed easily and put back up easily. Then something else that's even lighter is this same type stuff I use to insulate my ceiling. You know, kind of close my loft off, keep dust out and the heat in. Some of this styrofoam paneling right here, or insulation, whatever you want to call it. Thought about using 4 or 5 sheets or however many it would take as a wall there. Mount it up temporarily, rig up something where it just kind of slides right in, and that way I can easily wall it off without fighting all the plastic, and when I want it down I can take it down easily. So yeah, I'm just blabbing in this video, but I'm just showing you what I've been up to. Let's see, Bridgeport Mill needs a little work. The switch is bad on the feed, but I can still use it. I guess that's pretty much all I've been up to. That and cruising around in Trino, going to rod runs and cruises. You saw a little bit of that. Moved all my body parts back in the garage, out of the shed. And so yeah, that's what's next on the Power Stroke. I'm going to get this garage cleaned up today, just put my tools away for my last little project. And I think I'm going to get all this junk out of the bed. And I need to finish blocking down that panel and start finding all the little dents on the sides, on the inside, and the bottom. Remember how I welded the floor in there? I still need to put some body filler in there. And plus we're going to have some sort of bed liner to protect that probably. I may use my old plastic, but I do have the Pour 15 bed liner, spray-on bed liner. I'm going to try that stuff, see how tough it is. So all the dents and dings in this bed don't have to be perfect. It's, you know, that bed liner is not a very, I don't think is a glossy covering like a paint would be. So I'm going to get most of the dents out, but it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And like I said, I will probably keep from scratching my bed, end up putting a plastic liner over top of it. Or it might be a temporary thing whenever I haul something heavy like an engine or something like that. But after I get this, all the dents fixed in, I'm satisfied with it, and it's in primer, ready to be final sanded. I need to flip it, fix this. Angel has not been in any of my videos. She's being real affectionate today. She hasn't been in a video for a long time, so for those of you who are wondering about her, she's doing good. But anyway, she's rubbing on me like a cat. Yeah, we gotta put a little bit of a skin on that bottom there and get this painted. And then we can flip it back over and start doing our outer body work, which there isn't much left. It's just minor dents. If you remember, I popped this big dent out. Gotta do all that. But yeah, cold weather settled in. We're finished mowing for the year, which I have a lot of mowing to do through the summer, and we can spend more time in the garage now. The rest of the truck's pretty much the same as it was last time I made a video on it. So, well, that's all this video for now. Thanks for you all you people who've been commenting, and I got a lot of new subscribers since my last video. Appreciate you guys who are interested in this Power Stroke project for hanging in there and keeping a check on me. Some of you are asking for updates, and they're coming. I haven't forgot about you, and I've definitely not given up on this project. Just got sidetracked. Maybe I needed the break. Then another part of me wants to say, I wish I'd have stayed on it. I've been a lot farther along. But like I said, the biggest thing we accomplished this year is getting the Trino a lot more enjoyable. So thanks for watching. There's going to be more videos on the Power Stroke coming soon. Hopefully by next weekend. Stay tuned for more.